A little bit nervous, but it's fine. It's not like I haven't done this before, just not in front of a lot of people. But it can't be worse than when I was on stage at DreamHack.
Hey everybody, it's Mitch here, one of the community managers over at Arrowhead, and I've got Fluffy with me here today. So essentially today we're going to be going over doing a bit of an anniversary stream because we've had a lot of cool events lately. We had Helldivers 2 anniversary, we had Helldivers 1 anniversary, and we also had Arrowhead's anniversary. So a lot's been happening. But yeah, we're going to go over a bit of Helldivers 1 gameplay to get started before we jump into a few questions. If you shoot through your questions in the chat, we'll get to those. But let's jump into some gameplay.
All right. We ready to get started?
Ready as I'll ever be.
So pre-selected a nice and easy difficulty 6 mission here.
I'm a bit rusty, so let's see how we go.
I haven't played Helldivers 1 in years, probably at this point. I have tried it a bit now, so I'm not as rusty. But boy, did I throw a lot of grenades when I picked up the controller again.
Well, it's crazy to see how far Helldivers has come overall, like from the top-down perspective and sort of the limited capabilities of what we had here to what we've done with Helldivers 2. But why don't we get started? We can talk a little bit about like when you joined Arrowhead, how you like oversaw it all. Go from there.
So I'm Patrick. Everyone calls me Fluffy. I'm even Fluffy in the credits of both games. So I joined Arrowhead the day after Magicka's release, actually. And I was friends with them, so we studied at the same university. And I was friends with them, and Magicka released, and they needed a community manager. So that's actually how I got started with community management. And then I sort of transitioned into designer, and from there design on Helldivers. And so the Helldivers is made by me and Johan, essentially, design-wise. And then I did design on Helldivers 2, many of the core systems, player movement, shooting, combat mechanics. And then I also did game direction in the end for Helldivers 2.
Awesome. And what was when it came to Helldivers 1 and I guess Helldivers 2, what's your favorite loadout from Helldivers 1? I guess the Breaker?
I like the Breaker. It's the first gun I designed, actually, for Helldivers, was the Breaker. So it's close and dear to my heart. And I mean, nothing just beats some full auto shotgunning. Okay.
Straight into it.
Oh.
Oh.
So tell us a little bit about the inspiration for Helldivers. Like, where did it come from? What kind of conversations were you having with Johan about this?
Oh wow. So originally it was a lot about just creating a military top-down shooter. The idea was to make something that was a little less arcadey than everything else that's out there. Make something that has a little more depth in mechanics and such. And then originally it was a lot darker. You can see from the early trailers, we had a lot of like darkness and flashlights and mangled bodies lying around, and it was very gruesome. But over time, we sort of leaned more into the sort of the dystopian fun democracy angle.
Sorry, I forgot to give a bit of a shout out. We've actually got Baskinator in the background reading out the questions from you all.
I am your disembodied voice here reading the chat. So it was darker in the beginning?
It was a lot darker in the beginning. It was more, it was closer to something like Killzone originally, actually.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at the sort of designs and everything, I believe I have videos somewhere on my computer of that. Whoops, my bad.
That's all right. I won't take it personally.
Embarrassingly fumbling the reinforce here. Yes, a lot darker, but then sort of we wanted to move away from Killzone and make it into something more of our own, and sort of ended up where we are now.
How nice then that Killzone made its way back around into Helldivers 2.
Yeah, it's very full circle actually. It was great that we could do that collab with them. Sort of coming back to the original, so to say. All right. See, I think we need to head west for the next one.
Okay.
Whoops.
So what is it? It's 10 years, right, of Helldivers 1 now. So how does that
10 years
feel?
for Helldivers 1 now, yeah. It's been a while. And Helldivers 1 was like 2 years of development, I believe. Around that time.
Bit of a jump from the 2 years of development from this one to the, what was it, 8 years?
To the 8, yeah, it's quite a difference, but as it's a bigger game, the complexity is just higher.
And was there anything that you sort of left on the drawing board essentially from Helldivers 1 that you would have loved to have brought to Helldivers 2, or did you?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think so. I think we've covered most of the sort of important things that we had in the first game over to the second game. Of course, there's a couple of things that we don't have yet, like gear-wise and stuff, but there's always time for that in the future, I feel like. Oh, did any of us bring resupply?
Yeah, I've got one.
I'm not used to having to bring your own resupplies anymore.
That's why I always go with the las weapons.
So it's a big difference from the first game to this one.
Oh,
We had Damien in the chat asking how many times a year you guys watch Starship Troopers.
About 2 or 3 for me. I love that movie. It's so good. And yeah, I just end up watching it every now and then.
Yeah, infinitely rewatchable. I do kind of love that, you know, even though it's clear that we took inspiration from it for Helldivers 1 and 2, we've kind of evolved like into our own thing, where it feels like we've gone in a few different directions away from just those things that influenced the original game.
I mean, there's more to it than just Starship Troopers as well, of course. There's the aliens and all of those. Oh my god, I blew up. Aliens and Predator and other classic 90s sci-fi. That's also very close to the inspiration.
oh.
I can tell this little thing we had such a hard time figuring out. for this objective in Helldivers 1, how we're gonna make it so that so we call in the pump. And we're like, oh, it would be great if it could shoot a little stratagem ball, because that's how stratagems come in, right? So we essentially just made a little pitch machine. We looked at like auto pitcher machines, how they work, and just made one of those.
Great question from Cloud Plays. What made you choose to go third person for Helldivers 2 instead of top down?
A whole lot of reasons, really. Some big ones. It's a bigger market, essentially, so more people can experience it. It's a more detailed game. It's a more detailed experience. I think those are the main reasons. We knew we wanted to do something a little bigger. Studio had just come off of making two smaller projects, so Gauntlet and Helldivers.
Love
We wanted
Gauntlet.
to do something bigger as one team as well. And Helldivers 2 fit the bill.
Well, Alpha just said, is this the first live stream Arrowhead has ever done? Not the first that Arrowhead has ever done, but definitely the first since Helldivers 2 has been in the world.
So I've actually live streamed Helldivers 1 a couple of times.
You have some
doing
couch
different-
streams.
Yeah, some couch streams, some good old times.
Ooh, Darth Revan just asked, what is Joel's weakness? We haven't found it yet.
No. Cookies and hugs, maybe.
Maybe.
Back end maintenance, maybe.
Oh, that hurts. When will you face reveal Joel? Ooh. I don't know. That would be up to the man himself.
That would ruin
Yeah,
the
that one's
fun
all
of
up
it,
to me.
right? You know?
We took it pretty far letting you hear him talk.
Yeah, actually, unmodulated voice.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, we were originally in those videos, we were thinking about like pitching his voice down to make him sound a bit more robotic, but I think in the end it's nice when you can hear, you know, just the real guy. Even though people still don't believe he's real. Thought we had video evidence, but... Which faction was the hardest to make in each game? From Fluffy Man.
Oh, wow. We struggled a lot with the automatons, actually. There was this whole design idea that they would be closer in play to the Helldivers in Helldivers 1. And for the longest time, they had a mechanic where they would go down and they would be able to pick themselves up, sort of the unending regenerating machine part of their bodies, resuscitating them. But we play tested that for like 3 or 4 weeks, and we just couldn't get it right. So in the end, it's one of those mechanics that were scrapped, and we decided to move on without it, essentially. For Helldivers 2, I'd also say the automatons. They design-wise are very sensitive to overwhelming the player. So a lot of the struggles we had with designing them was that there would be enemies shooting at you from all directions, and the players would simply be too overwhelmed, and they would end up in a situation where they don't feel like they could do anything about it, and that's bad. Like, you should, as a player, you should feel like it's fine that you're out of control, but you can't feel completely helpless, because then you're just like, okay, no, I'm not gonna do this. So you need to feel like you can rescue the situation all the time. Okay, that was pretty easy. Do we want to do something harder?
Yeah, let's step it up a little bit. It's you know, there's so many more difficulties in Helldivers 1 you don't really think about.
So I'm the one who designed the last, is it 3 difficulties towards the end that we released way after. An exercise fertility, definition of insanity, and the inner circle of hell. These, I'm not gonna lie, these are pure bullshit difficulty, but people are still playing them melee only. So that's it's what you say about your community. They're always going to be more hardcore than you. Let's do some Illuminates.
All right.
Good old squids.
We can see the changes that have taken place.
We had a nice question from one of our stream mods, Badger's Den. Was there any reason why you didn't transfer over the downed mechanic to Helldivers 2?
Yeah, actually, a lot of reasons. We originally worked with the down mechanic being in the game for a long time, but again, we just couldn't get it to feel quite right. In a third-person shooter, you were taking a lot less damage, simply put, from friendly fire. Like, you're not confined to the same screen. There's different heights. It's a lot harder to just sweep your gun over someone in Helldivers 2. And that, in combination with the fact that downed almost always saved you, meant that you weren't sort of afraid of enemies, really, or friendly fire. Unless it was a one-shotting attack, which is fine, but you can't have only one-shotting attacks in the game. Or I guess you can, but not in Helldivers. So it's one of those things where it simply we didn't make it work. It didn't feel right for the game experience in the end.
Mountain Nerd asked, is there really just one Joel or is it a team? We've actually, we've mentioned this a few times. Joel leads a few people on a team to help him. Otherwise, he would never be able to sleep or eat or
Although
be
he
away
doesn't
from his
sleep much
computer.
now.
Which was actually the case for a few days after release.
Yes.
Oh, someone's using the autocannon. Misty. Nice.
What?
Ooh, here's a fun one from Reese's. Which faction do you guys find the most fun to play against?
Ooh. For me, I think it's a hard one. It depends on what I feel like for the day. I think I prefer automatons in Helldivers 2,
Same.
at least.
Same.
They are a good challenge. They feel great to fight. I just enjoy them a lot. But sometimes you want to relax. You wanna just kill some aliens. Ooh. And then it's nice to turn off your brain and just slaughter some bugs.
Yeah, I love that whole horde mechanic, That's something that I really enjoy. So I prefer the bugs or the Illuminate. Like the voteless is such a cool feature.
They freak me out. The crawling on the ground toward me, I can't handle that. It's get away from me. Although now that I have my shovel, I can handle that a little bit better.
Safety shovel.
Yeah.
I just shot Chris. He deserved it.
Okay, we need to find this objective here. Ooh. That's the thing with not having played Helldivers 1 for a very long time. I can't tell on the map where the stamps are placed anymore.
Now we got a heavy hitter from Stephen G. What are your favorite stratagems? Helldivers 1 or 2? Go.
Helldivers 1, definitely the what's it called? The wreck death pack. the time or the explosive that you throw. It's one of my really big favorites. In Helldivers 2, I think the 380 barrage. There is nothing quite like just laying waste to an entire area with heavy artillery.
I really
What
like.
about you, Mitch?
I'd have to say maybe the cluster strike in Helldivers 2, or the 500 kilo. The cluster strike is more of just a me thing, but the 500 kilo is something that I always take.
You mean the Eagle cluster bomb?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, you have a friend in me. I love the
Okay.
cluster bomb. I bring that all the time.
It's
I love it.
fantastic. It's so volatile.
And it
I
always
only
hits
really play
just
the
like a
cluster
little bit
bomb.
closer to you than you expect.
Yeah, it's
But then from Helldivers 1, I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough call. It's been so long since I played as well, and a lot of them sort of escape memory, but I do love like a lot of the vehicles that were in Helldivers 1.
Lately, I've been bringing orbital napalm with me, and I kill anyone that I play with whenever I throw it down. But I can't stop bringing it because I just love fire.
Well, if they die,
it's
it's their
also one of
problem, right?
those. It's so volatile.
It really is.
Oh, this is bad. Ow.
Well, I think we're in trouble here.
Well, that escalated quickly. Oh god. Oh, somehow I survived.
Get us back
We
in,
had
Chris.
we had an interesting comment here. Any plans on releasing more early concept art from Who TF is Da Vinci? Yeah, we could definitely look into doing that. You know, we do have concept art. It's tough though because over the life of developing a game, you gotta really keep track of all of it because it starts to spiral out into this big collection of all of the art and all of the things. But
A
yeah,
lot of it
we
is
can do it.
also stuff that never saw production.
That's true.
of course.
That's true.
Concepts that were abandoned for one reason or another.
Oh no, the wall.
Levis wants to know if we are ever going to try any cryo or freeze-based weapons in the future.
That's a good question. It's not really up to me. I could see it happening, but probably not for quite a while. Quite far out there tech-wise.
It's a cool idea though. It's one that we get a lot and it is really cool.
Yeah, I can never. Whenever I hear cryo weapons, I can't stop thinking about the Fifth Element, where he's demonstrating the gun, and my favorite, the all-new ice cube system.
Oh.
Also one of those glorious old inspirations. Whoops.
Oh no, I'm down as well. Shit.
So what's like the thing that you did for Helldivers 1 that you are the most proud of? That you look back and you're like, that was my moment. I love that I did this.
Oh wow, that's a hard question. The Constitution. I love that we made the Constitution.
Watch out, Fluffy.
What else? There's so many things. I love that the the automaton or the cyborg berserkers. We had trouble with them getting shot by their friends all the time, so we just gave them a lot of armor in the back to solve that. So they have armored backs and fleshy fronts, and then they run at you, and then their friends shooting won't kill them because they're armored. Such a game design, like game maker solution to a problem. Love it.
Bob Snyder wants to know, what is your preferred difficulty to play on for Helldivers 2?
Helldivers 2, it depends on who I'm playing with. If I'm playing with my squad, shout out to Pata and Robin, then a 10 or a 9 usually is what we play. But if I'm just playing casually or at work, then usually more like a 6 or 7.
I would say I'm about the same. You know, it is nice to just be able to put it on a bit of a lower difficulty and just chill or experience whatever you need to experience. But when I am playing with a good group of people, like Chris and Misty and I normally play on 10s. Even though we kill each other a lot, it's actually a pretty good team normally. What about you, Katie?
I kind of change it depending on who I'm playing with, and if I have a full squad. I tend to play just duos with my partner, and you can't easily do like 8, 9, 10 with 2 people. That it hurts. So yeah, I'll play on whatever anybody feels like. We had a good question, and then I scrolled and lost it. Where'd it go? This one, here we go. Alex Connolly asked, when did you know you had gotten the movement just right? Like acceleration, inertia, and weight. Like, that's a tough one. I would be interested to hear that.
Oh wow, yeah. It was quite late in development before we actually got it really good. I remember we had a lot of issues with like stepping up on rocks, and it didn't feel quite right, and a lot of the UX tests showed that road rage. A lot of UX tests showed that people didn't quite get vaulting and stuff like that, which is why actually we have auto vault on by default. But it was quite late. But it was when you started sort of fluidly stop thinking about movement. When you stop thinking about movement, that's when you know it's right. You just sort of go, and you don't have to think too much about what you're doing with your character. You don't have to spend too much energy thinking about it. I'd say that's when you know you got it. At least for an action game like Helldivers.
The Tank Division asked a question that I think I can manage. Are you considering any quality of life suggestions from the community? We consider tons of quality of life suggestions from the community. That's like most of mine and Mitch's day. So yes, we take your feedback. We try to funnel you in a few different places to give it to us. Certainly in a YouTube chat scroll, we might miss some things. But we have feedback forms and surveys. Usually we push those out on Discord and on the Helldivers subreddit. Subreddit in general is a great place to share your ideas. So is Discord.
And we're a couple of devs who also scroll the subreddit, and you can see me commenting on there from time to time. There's something so nice about the simple 4 commands of Helldivers 1. Just run, stand still, yes or no.
I do love some of the new emotes from Helldivers 2, though. Like the hug is always one of the ones that I run.
Oh
The
yeah,
scout handshake.
Every time I join my partner's squad and I show up on his ship, immediately he stands there with the hug emote ready to go. So we hug every time we start the game.
It's one of those interesting things where like it's one of the first emotes we added to the game, the hug. Or like it's one of the first you have unlocked as a player, right? And it's just created.
Yeah.
It's just created this expectation within the community, or like this nice camaraderie.
It also makes for really cool poses, like when you call in the airstrike and you're standing there doing like the T pose.
It's very Tony Stark.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in trouble here.
I need a reinforce.
Rhymer00 asked, any chance of us playing with devs? You know, there's a good chance you've already played with some devs. You'd never know.
I do play Helldivers 2 with random sometimes. Though at the moment I'm busy with the other large release that recently happened.
Awesome. Well, should we jump across to a bit more of a Q&A session now? Does that sound
Yeah,
good?
absolutely.
Yeah? All right. Okay, so yeah, Q&A, shoot through all the questions you've got. I know we've already taken some, but if you have any more that come to mind, shoot them through and Baskinator will read them out to us.
Yeah, we'll try to pick out all of them. You guys have a lot of good questions. Let's see here. Have you ever thought of increasing the squad member per team from like 4 to 5 in Helldivers 2?
Yes. Oh wow. This is Helldivers 2 was originally designed for 5 people actually.
Oh,
And that was Johan's call because he had these thoughts around when you're 4 people playing, if a 5th joins you, suddenly you're a 3-stack and a 2-stack, and it creates this unbalance. But if you're 5 people and someone joins, then you're 2 3-stacks, and you're 3 groups instead of one becoming a pair. So we actually wanted Helldivers 2 to be 5 people originally. But unfortunately, as we played with it, it didn't work. It turned out that when you're 5 people, someone is always just standing around, not really participating in the action. It also gave you a whole lot of flexibility in your team stratagem loadout. So it just turned the game into like you really didn't have to make any choices when it came to stratagems. But I'd say the biggest thing was that someone was always just standing around, sort of idling instead of participating in the game, which prompted us to remove it sort of halfway through development, or a few years in at least.
Why did you come to the conclusion that arrow inputs were the way to go for stratagems? How was that system thought of and designed?
Oh, that's a good one. That's Johan's actually from the beginning, I believe.
but it was
This
similar
is
in
many,
Magicka,
many
right?
years ago.
Similar in Magicka, wasn't it? Where you had to input arrows to
Yeah.
do different spells?
So in Magicka, it's the face buttons instead of the D-pad. I don't remember how exactly it came to the D-pad. It just always kind of was the D-pad first implementation as well. The very, very first implementation was the Helldiver throwing a road flare, like one of those red smoke flares, and a box just falling from the sky full of stuff. That was a very, very first stratagem, was a box of ammunition that fell from the sky. Yeah, so I'm not sure why actually, but there were a lot of design went into sort of where stratagems are in the tree, because there is a very finite number of combinations you can make with those buttons as we terminate the sort of the combination. How do I explain this? If you do up, up, down, down, then anything that would begin with up, up, down, down is no longer possible to make as a stratagem combination, because it terminates on the last stratagem there. So every combination after that is no longer eligible. This is why a lot of stratagem weapons, for example, have very long combinations, because if they had short combinations, they would invalidate a lot of space in that sort of combination tree.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Allmaker asked, will Masters ever return to Helldivers 2? Having a named enemy general or something would be so cool to fight and ruin their plans. Think of the fan art. Oh, don't tempt me with the fan art.
It would be great, but I don't know.
Maybe one
Again,
day.
another one of those like cool ideas. That would be cool, but we don't know yet.
And just to be clear, I literally don't know if that's in the plans, as I'm not that deep into Helldivers 2 development currently.
Hashem asked, how did you come up with all the names of all the planets, and which planet type is your favorite?
For Helldivers 2, okay, this is a hard one. There's a sandy planet type that has these narrow canyons. I really like that one. That one's really good. And then the sort of lightningy, moory, craggy planets I also really love. The names they're a mix of me and Johan, actually, sitting around doing stupid jokes like Clendath 2, and the writing team and Nielsen and that team just coming up with a lot of planet names. Some are reuses from Helldivers 1 as well.
Takes a village to come up with all of this.
I love the spooky swamp biome. I think that's my favorite.
Yes, yeah. I like all the swamp biomes. I don't know. Maybe it just reminds me of home. Let's see here. Lots of questions about motorcycles and vehicles, and
Yes.
we love all those things. We would love to add stuff like that in, but we don't have an ETA or plan for any of that we could share. No idea.
All right, well,
it would be great. We also
it would be
We're
great.
not alone. That would be great.
One day maybe. Let's take a couple more questions and then we might go to a short break.
So this is an interesting one from Potato Guy. What would you personally want changed in the game? Like, what is something you would want to change or add or do?
Oh, that's a hot political question, right?
It's a tough one. But it's compelling.
So there was earlier in the game's development, there was a different kind of armor system that sort of semi remains, but it was removed because it just didn't play well. Same reason as all the other sort of decisions we've made through Helldivers 1 and similar that I talked about already. It just didn't play well, and we didn't have the time to fix it or to make it play well, essentially. So I would love to revisit that maybe at some point. But on the other hand, I mean, the game is what it is right now, so I don't necessarily see a need for it to make a return.
I have to shout out someone who has been asking the same question in the chat. This might be another one of those that would be cool, but planets with weaker gravity.
Yes, we did try this, actually. There was a hack week where we tried different concepts out internally at the studio, and one of them made a moon biome with lower gravity, and is like 85% of our systems already support this. Like the projectile simulation can handle it, the physics simulation can handle it, but it would require a lot of work for animation and other similar stuff. And also, like, how do you explain it to players? All these new weird behaviors. What do you do to jump packs? Now suddenly you're becoming stratospheric maybe when you when you sort of start jumping around.
Can launch yourself back up to your super destroyer.
Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible if you have low grab. But yes, it would be very cool. It is technically possible. It's just maybe not feasible. So I won't say it will never happen, but it's as far as I know, it's not anything we have any plans for.
Yeah, bigger challenge involved there.
Yeah. Exactly.
But again, it sounds super cool. Let's maybe one more.
I'm personally a fan of the old low grab Quake 3 Instagib game modes. So wait, that's Unreal Tournament maybe. Fake gamer right here.
All right, lucky last. Katie, what do you got for us?
Let's see. Oh, you guys are moving so fast. Lots of people asking about when Killzone Armor returns. I don't have an ETA on that. I'm sorry.
I do not either, unfortunately.
Yeah. What about more objectives? I'm seeing bigger squad maps and more objectives. Is that something that we're shooting for in the future of Helldivers 2?
I can give a generic answer of absolutely. I don't know which those objectives are or when they're coming. But yeah, it's safe to assume that there's going to be more objectives coming down the line.
We're always cooking something in the kitchen. I promise you that.
That's it. Moves fast around here. Always come in and find all these new cool ideas that somebody's come up with over the weekend or whatever, and charging full steam ahead. So.
And then here's a lovely one, last one. What was your personal favorite part of game development for Helldivers 2? Like, favorite moment?
Oh, wow. My favorite moment is actually designing the autocannon. So when we made the autocannon, we set a goal of, hey, this needs to fire 100 rounds full auto without you lifting your finger from the trigger. That's what it needs to be capable of. And sort of taking that, me and our artist and one of our animators, like the guy who animates almost all of our weapons, sat down and we actually designed the physical mechanics of the autocannon, like the load mechanism, that we use stripper clips that would load 5 at a time, and all that stuff. And seeing that being recognized as like one of the best guns in games 2024, that was pretty damn cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Also, I think one of my favorite moments of collaboration, where just the team came together and made something great together.
Definitely. I think those are most of my happy memories about being here for this game, is the teamwork and just when great minds bonk together and come up with something incredible. All right.
Awesome.
Well, I think we're going to let Fluffy get back to work. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sharing all of these wonderful memories with us and for playing some Helldivers 1.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Bye, everyone.
Right, bye.
Hey everyone, so I'm here with Alina and Yusuf. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Illuminates and Worlds today, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, let's jump straight into it. You can do a little bit of an introduction on yourselves as you lads come up.
All right. My name is Yusuf Khatib. I'm one of the game designers. I mainly take care of enemies in the game, and if something in the game killed you, it might be my fault.
Hear that? Everybody blame Yusuf.
Yeah, always.
Can maybe switch slides?
Yeah. We'll go next.
My name is Elina Nitzan. I'm a senior technical level designer, and I also lead the Worlds team, so making all the planets and stuff like that.
All the pretty screenshots we see coming through
Yeah.
is all your handiwork. It's pretty cool.
Me and a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, enemies work is me and a bunch of other people, so we're not alone in this.
Awesome. Next slide. All right. So the Illuminate.
Yeah, when that started, it kind of morphed into many things because the Illuminates are kind of an old foe. People have some certain expectations of them, and we needed to make it really good. So it took a while to cook. It took a while to develop them into the shape they are in now, which we think turned out pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in some form of development for years at this point.
Yeah, yes,
Various iterations at least.
yes. Since I started here, I've been messing with them over and over again and deleting everything and recreating everything, and we just kept going until we got to this point.
Where they're as annoying as possible.
Yeah.
But also very cool. I love the vote list. They're some of my favorite enemies,
I
actually.
mean, Super Earth needs an unreliable voting block. That's what they are.
And you
Yep.
know, losing your right to vote is the worst thing that can possibly happen to somebody, right?
Yes. So we had to basically build the way we do encounters differently with the Illuminates. We had the Watchers that scan the world and walk around and call in the troops. And we ended up on that solution, which was how the old game worked, mainly because doing it any other way would make them overwhelming immediately. We used to have them teleport in, we used to have them have big effects where they would pop out of portals and stuff, and if the player wasn't looking at the right direction, they would get steamrolled immediately. So we had to come up with a sequence, and that started with the Observer.
Well, I guess that's cool. Kind of good point to have both of you here at the same time, because a lot of that stuff would cross the barrier between the worlds and the Illumina enemy design, right?
Yeah. So you can see in the current screenshot, a lot of the Illuminates, like the latest iteration, was kind of developed with colonies at the same time. So they both were developed in tandem.
Yeah, it was an invasion. We had to make it feel like an invasion, unlike the other factions, which feel more like a byproduct of Super Earth's behavior in the galaxy. These are a species that can affect Super Earth directly and independently, rather than these are here. This faction is here to exact revenge on Super Earth and everything it stands for. We had to make that feel like a threat. So we had to have a place that felt like home that we could invade.
Yeah. Can't feel like they're attacking your home if you don't have a home.
Yeah.
If you're not showing it, at least. But yeah, it's been a great opportunity to kind of explore something that like people have been waiting for quite a lot and asking for, like more urban type environments. So
Yeah,
it's
well,
been really, really interesting, especially seeing how the game plays with the kind of more narrow sightlines and stuff like that.
Well, we also had to keep in mind the original gameplay of the game where you still could choose what priorities you wanted, which objectives you want to tackle, in what order, in what sequence, and approach them from various angles. So that also had to be kept in mind for the colonies, right?
Yeah.
and did you play much? Because I loved in Helldivers 1, I loved the city-based missions. Did you go back and look at that much, or did you sort of come in with a fresh perspective and you were like, this is what we want to do?
So we kind of landed on kind of a similar thing to Helldivers 1, almost unintentionally. I did play a bunch of Helldivers 1 before, colonies, specifically the city missions, to look at how they were done and everything, because I haven't worked at Arrowhead at the time of Helldivers 1. But I think it's fair to say we ended up at a similar place. Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Almost by accident.
Well, it looked cool. Like, you can't argue with the results, right?
So we just kept iterating. Oh, this is getting better. It's getting better. Oh, it's the same game again. No wonder it worked the first time. So we of course had to introduce a lot more machinery, and part of the reason we ended up with a lot of machinery on the Illuminate side is because we wanted a superior feeling faction that also did not go below a certain level. So anything that did seem like something that would be below an Illuminate's rank would kind of be some kind of tool that they just used for their bidding. So we ended up having the watches, we ended up having the harvesters, we ended up having what else did we?
I mean, the voteless.
Yeah, and the
prime example.
voteless, and yeah, that's why they are basically enslaving the voteless, because they're just using the voteless as another tool, and that kind of worked out. We have a funny bug there where the harvester started swimming from living woods too much, and its feet not really keeping up with it.
Well, I mean, the harvesters are already scary.
I think
let
we should.
alone
I think
having
we should
swimming.
reuse that in the future. For
Yeah.
some
Yeah, we should have
little
a
stuff.
flying fish
Yeah.
machine.
New stealth drop confirmed.
No, damn.
But yeah, so this update was also the first one where we introduced urban combat. It was actually funny seeing how many of the stratagems we had got kind of recontextualized with the kind of new kind of play space it created. We also saw a lot of cases where squads got separated because someone called in a bombing, like a orbital bombardment directly
Yeah.
in the middle of the street. So the two squads got separated in different streets and stuff like that. So there was a lot of new things, a lot of interesting things. We also had some issues. Oh, yeah. That's some concept art
Oh,
from
nice.
Colonies originally.
It's crazy to see. Like, we've seen a few of these concept arts today, and just seeing how the drawings come to life is beyond me. It's wizardry. But yeah, really cool to see where it all began, you know?
This is also one of the first concept art pieces we saw when we started working on the colony side. So it's kind of eerie how close we got to that just by the nature of what we were looking to do with it. At one point, it wasn't actually that obvious that we would have a big fence around the colony. It wasn't obvious that how you would, if you could leave the colony at all. And we ended up there anyways, just as we kept moving all the parts around to get them to work.
Here you can see some of the building concepts alongside some of what we ended up having in game finished. It's been a really, really interesting opportunity seeing everything come to life, like one small art piece at a time.
Oh yeah, it would be. It used to be such a big forest of just gray buildings, and suddenly one of them would have color, and all the devs during playtests would just flock to that building, and then see it get destroyed because everything else would follow them. It was kind of wild. But-
Speaking of which, in the next slide we can actually see some of that, I think.
Oh, I have a small video. For a long time, that's what we stared at.
So yeah, you can see some of the earlier versions of colonies. You can see some cars being destroyed. A lot of very pretty scenery. And it's crazy thinking how far we've come.
Yeah, no, well, it is definitely crazy to look at, especially when you consider all the other biomes that people can play through. And then this is sort of building something almost completely from scratch to add to the game. So, I mean, I think, yeah, it looks amazing. And
Wasn't alleyways kind of a complicated part to put together when it came to these setups?
So in general, there's quite a lot of technical challenges when it comes to colonies because it doesn't really work like any of our other level generation. So getting the alleyways, getting the roads in general, like we even had to write some specific new behaviors for enemies as well to
Yeah.
to have them navigate in a way that feels better.
Yeah, they used to be like proper citizens and use the sidewalks, which was probably the wrong way.
Commendable, but
Yeah,
no.
commendable. But that also meant they tried to take the shortest route and would be like get stuck on a fire post or in an alley or whatever. So we ended up setting up some new shapes that just cover the roads where the enemies would patrol more primarily. They would still go into the sidewalk if they needed. And, once they see you, all bets are off. They will be chasing you.
Can probably move on. What's a stream without technical difficulties?
Oh, the warp ships.
Yeah, the warp ships. So once you've been seen by a watcher, the warp ships come in, and at first they looked like teacups when we started working, and you can see up in the right corner, you can see them among the gray boxes, and at the bottom right, that's where we ended up.
Would you say you went through many iterations between those two pitches, or?
We went through quite a few shapes. We also needed something that had somewhat of a similar language to everything else we had in the game that players could pick up on pretty quickly. But we still wanted it to be different in terms of challenge. We ended up adding a shield on top of it that the players have to break down. We ended up making it much harder to destroy without using stratagems, just to get you to approach it more deliberately rather than just throw something and leave. And that's kind of how we went about it. They were mainly spawning corrupted and voteless enemies, and we kept it that way because anything bigger would basically just steamroll the player immediately.
And encounter flows.
Yeah. So this is what I spoke about at first. We ran into the issue of we needed to make sure the player knew that there was an encounter was about to happen, that they had a chance of stopping it, that they could do something about it, because they used to teleport in early on in development, and if that happened anywhere else than just in front of the player would not realize that they were there until they were dead. And this is kind of where we ended up. You have it first playing a little jingle and then shoot up a few flares, and then you see it come in from the sky.
No, that's awesome. Thanks for that.
So
yeah, thank you so much for both coming on and talking about your respective pieces. Really cool to see how it all came together, because I mean, it got released at the TGAs, which was a huge moment for us. We had the kick-ass trailer, and then it was live, and I think it was a bit of a shock for everybody. Like, there was rumors about the Illuminates coming out and whatnot, but I don't think anybody was.
How many questions did you get a day about the Illuminates up until release?
It was a few, I'm not going to lie. But I mean, I think we still managed to, surprise a fair few people, which was really cool. And I think that the work you two did and your teams as well really helped to execute on like an amazing beat. It was,
It's also thanks to all the players that keep supporting us and letting us do cool stuff and wanting us to do cool stuff so they can have a lot more fun.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for dropping by, and thanks everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hey everybody, so now I've got Chris joining me to talk a little bit about level design. Introduce yourself, Chris.
Hello, I'm Chris Pretman, a level designer here at Arrowhead and on Helldivers 2, and I get to sit with Mitch and cute dogs.
We got Penny and Bonnie here. So we're going to talk a little bit about what you worked on with the TCS today, right?
Yes, indeedy.
Awesome. I think we have some slides prepared.
Hoo-hoo! We do.
Super Earth announcement. Let's
Oh,
go.
here we go. All right, so yeah, a little breakdown as to who I am. This is me, Chris Bretman, level designer. As you can see from that flag and from the great state of Florida, go Gators. Next slide, please. That's it. Yeah, sorry to all the Seminoles fans watching, but I'm from Gator country. So what is level design in Helldivers 2? That's a good question, Mitch. It's almost like I wrote this myself. So we do basically 3 things. We do the world generation. We do some bespoke mission locations. Bespoke is a great word.
It is a very fancy word.
It is very fancy. I still don't fully know what it means, but people say it to me and I go, all right, that's a great word. And we do mission design?
Question mark?
What?
Question mark?
Well, there's more to that on the next slide. See, that was a very smooth transition, right? Whoa! It's almost like
level
we have
designers
people
on
doing
Helldivers
stuff.
2 are also mission designers?
Yes! It's insane, man. So, missions and levels are very intertwined in games overall. Dishonored and all of those
Great game.
gems, great game. So, yeah, but it's much more entwined on this game because we really have to take into account the procedural nature of the game overall, and these missions have to kind of be like the playground for our systems to really knock it out of the park. Like, you know, you might recognize this hill when you play it, but it's going to be designed in a way with that mission where you don't really know if you can defend that hill or if a charger is just going to knock you off and you're just going to have a bad time or a fun time because now you can emote while you ragdoll again.
What about, and then, you know, we just drop eagle airstrikes, completely destroy the
I
hill
mean, someone has
altogether.
to do it. I'm a known team killer. So this basically means that we're prototyping missions and levels together at the same time to have that good marriage between them. We try to make it cohesively chaotic and just really be the playground for our beautifully chaotic game. See, I was being poetic there.
No, I like it. I like it.
So let's see, does my magical hand sign make us change slides? Let's see. Woo! Nice, it works. But you might be wondering, Mitch.
Okay, but cool. What cool have you made?
That's a great question. That's on the next slide. Wow, wow, wow. The Terminated Control System.
I remember this nightmare.
The concept. Oh, well, I do too, but that's for making it. So this is from our concept artist, Tore Veselovsky. Absolutely killed it. I would put this on my wall. But yeah, have some breakdowns of what I did and what the team did, and little sneak peek behind the scenes of work in progress stuff. Starting with the next slide. So, you might be going,
wow. Sorry, that's terrible.
Yeah, that was an Australian Owen Wilson, but yeah, I can take it. So, cool. What did I do? I was the feature owner, which basically means I was sort of like a creative team lead. That doesn't mean that all of the ideas came from me. It just meant that I had to sort of
take credit for all the ideas.
Exactly. Get a huge raise, buy a Ferrari. But it basically meant that I had to do a lot of admin stuff and keep track of what other people were doing. And it was a lot of facilitating conversations between the actual devs and the producers, the directors. So just a lot of that facilitating and figuring out what the expectations are and what our goals were, what we would have to cut, what we would have to add on to it. And I also did some of the early level design for some of it that the others would go in, because we have a team of really, really good designers that were working on this. And also, working with the mission design while we had our scripters going in and making all the cool defensive points and all that jazz.
And it's only really a small team as well, right? So you all had to wear sort of many hats in the development of it.
Oh yeah, because back then it was like I think on the design end it was about 4 of us. I guess 3 if you take me out of the equation, if I'm stuck in like meetings or trying to talk to people about
Adult team.
all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, it was a pretty small team working on it. But I mean, the results,
It was really cool.
they're really sharp. But yeah, it was really great. And we'll find out more on the next slide. So this is one of my favorite images. This is my next tattoo. So this is the very first hand sketch done by level designer Vendela on our whiteboard when we were like brainstorming what will this look like. This is what we did before we had Torre with the great concept art there. This is what we had to really go off of. And with level design, this is all that you really need. This is a very quick sort of block out. We can kind of figure out what the metrics are. We don't need the finished pieces. We just basically need to know what's the rough shape and size so we can make gameplay around it. And it started with this wonderful sketch that I should put on my fridge.
Yeah.
We actually should do that.
Yeah.
Frame it, do something nice. We can get a Pilastet to sign it maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, we should deck out the stream
Can we
room that we're
auction
working
that
on.
if we get him to sign that, do you think?
Yeah, what do you think, chat?
Would you buy this if it was signed by you on Pilastet? We'll see, but we have cooler images in the next slide. Okay, this isn't really that cool.
Yeah,
but so this, it might be kind of hard to see, but this is where we had so many different ideas and plans of how we would do the TCS, and this is all of the stuff that we had to shelve and go, okay, those plans, they're not going to work. We had like plans A, B, C, and like CA, CB, and just like all of that we would have to go through, and these are the ones that we realized can't do because the team size, the time limit that we had to really do all of this. So some of it we just had to look at it and shelve and put over there and label red because we ain't gonna do it.
So that's the thing, right, with game design. A lot of it isn't a straight line. It's a giant circle and you go through all the different waves and emotions.
Yeah. It's always very fun when you start off with like, okay, this is our simplest idea. Okay, now we can start there. Now we can be more complicated, more convoluted, and then we end up. Oh, turns out the real friends were the simplest idea that we had at the very beginning. So, yeah. But then we have other ideas on the next slide. So this was sort of our fallback plan. So okay, if the plan that we've committed to doesn't really work out, then here's all of our fallback options. So we were this makes us look like it was way more prep than it really was, but this probably comes from about half a week.
J to
Yeah, exactly. So we really tried to make sure that we would have fallback plans because we really viewed the TCS as being like the real big first post-launch update that let players know like we're not messing around, like we're going into live service, we're telling stories, we're letting players tell these stories too, and we are going to support this game going forward. So we wanted it to be something that said, hey, we're here and we're not going away. So we had all these plans set up. And the next slide, remember what I said about simplicity?
Yeah, it looks a lot more straightforward. This one, yeah.
The current plan where more or less. This is basically how it ended up in game with our current plan like that, because it is kind of straightforward when you get down to it. You're defending points. You have waves of enemies. You can do them in what order you really want. Teamwork, solo. And a lot of that, it sounds so easy when you actually have that finished product, but getting there, because you always wonder, like, well, we've tried that before. Are we going to be like a one-trick pony if we keep trying that? And no, but you just find out what works, and sometimes it's not the most, convoluted, detailed thing. You just get a straight line of post-it notes, of digital post-it notes.
Yeah, but it's like pushing that envelope still, right? Like
Yeah.
naturally, you always want to one up yourself and
Exactly.
make it as
yeah.
cool as possible.
Yeah, because what we also try to do is recycling different features and assets too. Because while we haven't used the actual like big ass TCS props, the interior of all of the code and logic we've used countless times. So like stuff that you don't really see from a player's end, we're reusing that stuff too. So that also takes time to plan out how do we make these systems modular and really say like, okay, now let's commit to thinking this way going forward. I think the biggest thing that the TCS showed us as a design team was, here's new ways of really thinking how we can make features going forward. And yeah, this was like 1 to 2 months of just, constant learnings and trial by error. And it ended up with really, really cool that you will see more of on the next slide, which is get glooped. So this one, I had to add this because gloop, this was something that I think the producer that we had on this feature was talking about, where you had to glue people where needed and lube them where needed. So that was gloobing people. So glue people together to get done and lube them up to work independently, if I recall what he was talking about. This was quite a while ago, but I just wanted to bring this phrase out to the world. Get glued, chat. Get glued.
Yeah, for PR reasons, we should move on from this one.
Exactly. Oh yeah, that's another image of the TCS there. I think that's a duplicate slide. Whoopsie. So we can continue on. So this is some of the early concept art that we have.
Okay. Well, it is really cool though that you did have that slide again, because you can see how far it actually came.
Yeah.
It's intense. I cannot draw for so this is very
Same.
impressive.
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. I think all of this was done by Torre. Yeah, we had like the blueprint sketches, and then like the more sort of polished concept art there, which was just so cool. When we started getting these the concepts in, I showed it to our animator on this, Eric, and he just started saying like, "Oh yeah, so this must work like that, and that part has to be hollow if that's going to move in this way." I'm like, if that helps you animate, sure. But I'm like, wow, like, I don't look at things and really think that deeply into what are the actual mechanics into all of that. But yeah, so we just had a really great team working on all this stuff, and I believe on the next slide we have even more. Yeah, just more concepts, some very detailed stuff on how the like termicide spewers actually work and how they look like up close.
And how they led to the leakage of the Shriekers, right? That was the big reveal.
Allegedly.
Yeah, okay.
Allegedly. That's traitor talk.
Okay, I'm sorry.
we do nothing wrong, all right? All right, and we should have some more coming up. Woohoo! Yeah, so here we have some earlier stuff when we got it in game. How the main tower was looking with the legs, or the batteries, as we also called them, with the antennas. And I think we even have some GIFs coming up. I don't know if that's the next slide.
Like GIFs.
Yes.
Oh.
Haha. So here we have some early animation tests of it.
From Eric.
Yeah, this is from Eric. Just really, really great work. I mean, it's insane what he managed to do. So fluid. You see the one on the right is a bit slower, but you see like it has the leg or the support beam kind of just it just looks great. Like I could really just watch this all day. It's really, really cool. I think we have some more fun stuff. Yeah, so this is more of some high poly stuff. The artist that worked on the actual asset is named Hannah, and she really, really killed it. I think she really pushed the boundaries of what she was capable of doing and what we can really put out there as a team, and what we can really put into the game. So we got like these really, really cool detailed tower pieces that just kick ass.
Hell yeah.
See, what else do we have? Yeah, so we have some in-game stuff of just this is how it all, people saw this, but this is how it all turned out towards the end. I think we have some more stuff in-game, yet the version 2, or the deactivate TCS as we called it, where it was it got corrupted. Who would have thought? Who would have thought those darn, definitely not Super Earth's fault.
No, never.
Making it so corrupted. And then after this, the Shriekers.
Mysteriously appearing Shriekers.
Who would have thought? I don't know where they came from. I really don't know who left them there, but that was very fun. The TCS3, as we internally called it, when you would actually end up imploding Meridia. Whoopsie. That was I was still working on that, and it was me and Vendela from TCS1 just working on it, and it was 2 people doing this mission. So we were like, okay, what can we do? What's something fun and punchy that we can add? And we thought we can add, what about like a backpack that's like a jetpack and does an AoE effect on enemies and your friends? We're like, yeah. So we kind of made some really corrupted looking platforming levels, and then we thought, but we're imploding a plan. How can we make this just more epic? What if we just had Shriekers spawn?
Yeah.
So they made it very difficult to play test when we actually had them spawning in. It was very, very difficult to get Shriekers to get off our backs and let us extract. But it was still, I think, a very memorable moment. It was very fun watching the reactions from people that were dying quite a bit.
But it's crazy. I think we spoke about this before off stream, but the domino effect from, the TCS all the way up to recently, we had Angel's Venture blow up. Rest in peace.
RIP to a real one.
But it's, do you think about these things in the long term that far ahead, or is it more of like a, where do we go after this next step? Just one at a time?
It's a bit of both, because we're in constant contact with the narrative team and the elusive Joel to talk about like what plans are going forward. And even if they might not know concretely, because like back then we didn't know that we were gonna like blow up Angel's Venture, or did we? Probably not. But it's a lot of conversation of, okay, can we just do something that you can use as a toy just later on? Like, this is a good example of just the domino effect, like you said, where we just kind of talk about it and go, yeah, okay, this is a big catastrophe. We're creating a black hole. So let's stick with that, because we can do something about that later. So we might not know exactly what, but we want to be able to have things be open-ended enough to just kind of toss in there and say, okay, what can we do with it later?
Yeah.
Which I think resulted in the next slide of spooky, scary black hole.
The orb,
The orb.
There's the cult of the orb online now.
The orb.
Yeah.
You gotta ponder it, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really, really cool that just that idea that we had in like the late summer of 2023, I think, for the TCS towers ended up turning into like one of the biggest historical events for Helldivers 2, which is really, really cool. I mean, I'm the one that's sitting on the couch, but we had like a team of just incredible designers, artists, coders, scripters, the tech artists that were yelling at us to optimize it better. Sorry.
It still worked.
Rule of cool overall. Sorry about your frame rate, but yeah, just like a really, really talented, passionate team that just kicked ass and knocked it out of the damn park. Because we were unsure, like, okay, are we making something like, is this too linear? Is this too cemented, too concrete? Is this going too far away from the open worldness that we have? But players, like, they really liked it.
Yeah.
And seeing that reaction, I was like, okay, we did something right. Thank God. It was really, really great. So yeah, I think that's all that we have. Exactly. That's you and me, Mitch.
Yeah. We'll hug it out.
Okay,
Bring it in.
We can hug it out. Oh, that's great. That's great.
No, but yeah, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And we'll be back shortly with the next guest.
Woohoo! The dogs.
Yes. Penny and Bonnie, by the way, everybody. They're asleep, so don't mind.
I wish I was asleep.
Me too.
What? All right.
Allied destroyer has joined squadron.
Awesome. So I guess she didn't hear any of that. But yeah, so essentially I'm here with the lovely Chris Bratman, and Penny's down by my feet. She's still hanging around, and we've still got Baskinator hanging out with us.
Howdy, hey.
Taking your questions. So we're going to do a little bit of Helldivers 2, play through a mission, and then we'll jump into another Q&A for
Allied
you.
destroyer has joined squadron.
Woohoo!
Let's have a look.
Let us decide where
All right, what we got?
What do we got? What are we feeling?
What are we feeling? I'm feeling a little bit of Helldivers too.
We're always feeling a little bit of Helldivers too, aren't we?
Should we go? Do we want to fight the Illuminate? What do you feel, Chris? You're the
Ooh.
guest, so you can take point on this
Yeah,
one.
we can take on a little bit of them. Illuminate,
Yeah, a little bit of Propus.
purple fellers there. Gotta repel that invasion.
Yeah. We're just going to stick to difficulty 5 because otherwise it gets too crazy trying to handle your questions.
Actually, do you think maybe we could actually find some of the bugs in colonies?
Yeah, we can try.
That could actually be something to
We have no
play, take a look at, because something that the chat might not know is I made that. Kinda. Me and the team were converting the existing missions into the colony ones.
We could potentially do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want us to go up? You want us to see a harder difficulty?
Oh, I mean, we aim to please. Mitch, you're completely snubbing a hug right here.
Oh, I'm
Fellow
sorry. I'm in the
Helldiver.
table. I'm in the table. Hang
Don't
on.
worry, I can hug him. We're all friends here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's try and jump into something. Oh,
Let's see what we got.
we got a mission in progress. No, we're abandoning that. We're gonna go difficulty 10.
We're going. Oh, more hugs. My God, what a. Oh, what a friendly group we got here.
I don't know what are we feeling? It keeps going down again.
Every sector in the galaxy must be purged of the alien menace.
Where's all the difficulty 10s? You know what? We're just gonna do a 7. That's what's here.
Yeah, we can 7 it up.
Yeah.
I'll try and give you some easy questions. See if you can field a few.
Let's just spread some democracy. There's
Yeah,
no.
we can do that.
Yeah.
How'd you know that I woke up on the Democratic side of the bed today, Mitch?
Jump complete.
All right.
Hellpods prime.
So take us through a few of the basics. What are your favorite stratagems to use in Helldivers 2?
Can you repeat that question? It's hard to hear, from over there.
What are your favorite stratagems in Helldivers 2?
I'm all about napalm, honestly.
Hell yeah.
I love it. I love burning everything. I love the friendly fire that it causes. I say that as I pick napalm airstrike now, so Mitch, get ready.
That's alright. I expect it.
But yeah, anything that just sets fire to anything and everything. Big fan. Big fan.
Let's go with the most democratic armor. I really have to play more on the computer. I put too much time into the console and I don't have everything unlocked on here.
Yeah, I'm more of a controller fella as well. But okay.
Do the F cape for everybody at home.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite cape.
Right, that'll do.
Come on, get your loadout, Mitch. Come on, let's go. We got a game to play. We got bugs to kill.
I'm ready.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes.
Is playing against bugs in Helldivers 2 like living in Australia?
It is,
Yeah.
That's why Australians are so good.
That
at
makes
this
a lot of
game.
sense, yeah.
It's right up our alley.
All right, coming in for a landing. Who's got that?
And we got a question in the chat, but I think I can field this one. Are you planning to add more defensive stratagems like shields? I would say that, we have a lot of things planned. Certainly defensive stratagems would be on the list. Nothing we can reveal to you right now, though.
I would love some stratagems that would defend me right now. So if we can get those in ASAP.
Who died straight away? Misty, what are you doing?
That was Misty. What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? Oh my. A charger already?
Yeah, he did.
We just got here. Alright. Head north?
Yeah. We're all going the wrong way. Whoop.
Curtis the White Guy asks, do you have plans for a gloob cannon? I saw someone ask about gloob mines earlier in the
He
chat.
started something.
Yeah, get gloobed is all I can say. Can I get some gloobs in chat?
Watch out, Misty and Chris, watch out.
Oh,
That's a wild thing. I gotta change the controls.
Oh, the gloobs in the chat coming through now.
there we go. Oh, there's so much going on.
Yeah. Ugh. I died, but I dropped mines on my body, so just watch out, everybody.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're.
gonna-
I think we're all safe. I think it's Christos that's not having a good time. What is that? What is that? Napalm strike round. Who did that?
Oh.
Oh no! Oh,
Misty,
no!
what are you doing? This is why we can't have nice things.
We really can't have nice things. And we're using up a whole reinforce on Mitch. Really?
Wow. I'll remember this, you know.
Fox Hardo asked if there will be new music in future updates. And you know what? I assume so. We usually add new music whenever we do new big things. So maybe, yeah.
Oh, there's fire mines on top of us now as well.
Oh no! Oh no!
How could this possibly go wrong?
Believe it or not, I've been in tougher situations. That's an impaler. Oh no, that is an impaler. Special shout out to one of our enemy designers, Yuan, who was the chief implementer of the impaler.
It is a very cool enemy.
It is so cool. And also animated by the same animator that did the TCS animations.
Cassette Wave asked, what's your favorite faction to fight?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think we should get out of here quickly as well.
We should. Honestly, I like all factions for different reasons, but there's something about the bots that I have a lot of fun with. I think it's just some very fun, unpredictable third-person shooter gameplay that you don't really get in a lot of other games. The amount of times that I'll just be running and just a stray laser from a conscript just takes off my head is it never gets old. There's a bunch of mines here, Mitch. I'm guessing that this is where you died previously.
I can neither confirm nor deny this.
You can neither confirm nor demine it. Thank you. I'm here all week.
This is the last time Chris is coming on stream, everybody. Thanks for dropping
Thank you for
by.
having me. It's been great.
Oh, kind of a scary one. Is E710 edible?
Anything's edible if you're brave enough, you know?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the super FDA has commented yet on that. I mean, would you try it though, Mitch?
Try anything once.
Yeah. I mean, I'll let you try it first, and then
Fun
if it
fact,
goes well.
at the Helldivers launch party, Mitch and I performed an Australian custom, you might say, called a shoey, where we poured. It was it just my shoes or was it your shoes?
No, it was both of your shoes because I didn't want to mess up my shoes.
It was both of my shoes. We poured our beers into those shoes and then drank them on stage, and yeah. so if we would try that, I feel like E710 isn't.
That's not that much of a stretch.
It's not that much of a stretch. And right after I did that shoey, I met Joseph Forrest. So I was like, hey.
That's a power play, though.
Yeah,
you know? People will remember you if you do a shoey.
Oh, who set me on fire? Who's using a flamethrower?
I'm gonna blame Misty again.
That was Misty.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
There's mines on top of us now as well. Wasn't
did this?
actually, this was me.
Oh, okay. Well, at least I know who to blame.
And Benjamin in the chat has asked, what do you think about all of the collaboration ideas that fans suggest?
I think it's great.
I do too.
I mean, I would love to do as many as possible. Sadly, there's this thing called like laws or whatever. But no,
we love your fan art. We love all of your ideas.
It's great.
Please keep sending us that stuff. Because even if it's just an idea, we love to see it.
It's true. Katie and I spend most of our time just going through fan art and, you know, seeing what everybody's posting online, and it is really cool. I can't draw for shit, so I mean, maybe I'm not that hard to impress, but.
And you would be surprised, like how much people on the design team will take a look at social media posts and reference them a lot when we're looking at, you know, quality of life stuff, when we're working on new features and saying, okay, so these players mentioned this. It could be what they liked, what they disliked, or a completely new idea. We actually do take a look at all of that stuff and consider it. And sometimes, some ideas see the light of day. With our own spins on them, of course.
Now, Zaire asked what roles at the studio everyone on the stream has. So if you watched from the beginning of the stream, you met myself and Mitch. We are both community managers. But Chris, tell us your official fancy title at the studio.
My official fancy title is janitor. No, I'm one of the level designers here, so I work on... Actually, where we're in right now, raising this flag, I worked on this level. The team itself, we're kind of split off into like different parts of the game world. My focus is on missions and mission locations, so I've had a hand in I don't even know how many, but like most of the missions and locations that have launched. So
Misty, you kidding me?
Oh my god. Oh, samples.
Now, I saw a question way back in the chat that I didn't want to forget about, that asked if we knew about groups like the Freedom Alliance and some of our other, you know, kind of clans and groups out there. We do. We know them, and we're very supportive. We think that's super cool. The Freedom Alliance does a lot of really neat stuff. Ooh, here's a good one. Any plans to make forklifts drivable? Make Helldivers forklift certified. That's an old community meme. If you've been around for a while, we've had a running joke about the Helldivers being forklift certified. I don't know if the forklifts will ever be drivable, but boy, I would love to see it.
I really want them to be.
We even made a forklift, Super Earth forklift license at one stage, didn't we?
Yeah.
We gave one to Peelin.
Is Peelin the only forklift certified person at the office?
Actually, Mitch, aren't you forklift certified?
I am forklift certified.
Actually,
in 2 countries.
Our sound designer Oliver is forklift certified.
Look at all these legends.
Maybe should we make that a requirement to work here? You have to be forklift certified. Only then will the forklift be drivable.
Yeah. You can't truly appreciate
exactly
Helldivers unless you can drive a forklift.
Exactly. It's like method acting.
Yeah.
So we really need to know how a forklift works. Someone get Shams on that, please. Shams, if you're watching, can we please get everyone mandatory forklifts certification?
We'll show up for the next party and it'll just be a forklift test.
Exactly. Oh, I think I just killed Christos. Oh well.
That's that.
There can only be one Chris per stream.
Eru asked, where is Joel? Joel is strapped into his command center monitoring the war.
I mean, I thought he was just on the couch.
His command center may involve a couch. Like, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
You gotta be comfy while you're commanding.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. That's true. You know, a lot of people have asked me, like, why is Joel just in a silhouette in the Joel videos? What they don't realize is that's just what Joel looks like. He's literally a shadow being.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Bigfoot, you know. Nobody can get a clear picture.
Yeah. Oh, Mitch, what's your take on Bigfoot?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, in Australia, we've got our version. We've got like the Yowies and such.
Yeah.
There has to be something to it, right?
We have the Florida skunk ape back home. But I want to believe in Bigfoot, but I don't. But I kind of wish that I did, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of makes life a bit more exciting if you believe that Bigfoot is out there.
Well, I mean,
That's a bile titan. I'm scared. Mitch, hold me.
I feel like if he was out there, they would have found him by now, surely, right? They've been hunting him for how many years on the TV show?
That's true. That's true.
Gosh, you were giving me anxiety with those mines around you.
I like to live life on the edge.
Whew.
Oh, Chris, I know where you sit. You're right outside of the room that we're in.
Oh, we gotta go get the lava.
Be afraid, because you keep team killing me. Oh, is the larva nearby?
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh. I'll back you up on that. No, there's an eagle cluster bomb right there, so I'm not gonna back you up on that. Was that also Christos?
No, that was me, and I still managed to shoot myself.
Well, that's fine. I'm not too fussy with that.
This actually takes me back though, because you know, last time we had any form of stream, it was with PlayStation Access, and
That's
it was you and I talking about the lava.
That's true. Shout out to Larry the Larva.
Never forget.
Cloud Plays has a question. If you could take one item from Helldivers 1 and put it into Helldivers 2, what would it be?
Ooh. It's a good question.
I think I'd like to see more of the mech types come back.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Some different vehicle types would be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I know what the right answer is to this question.
What is it?
Cape Spin.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually.
that's
back.
true. That is true.
Oh no, I'm going to die here. Shit.
Are there any plans on adding a comically large shovel?
Now there are. Are you kidding me? Fun fact, I have a shovel tattooed on my arm that I did with Petter from our video production team. You can find the video. I think it's on YouTube, Katie. Do you know?
It is on YouTube, and it's also on all our social media.
It is one of the wildest gags that I've done is getting an actual tattoo. We had it drawn by one of our concept artists, Tori, who did the concept for the TCS as well, and he didn't think that we were serious. So when we come back like the following Monday, he looked at us and was like, "No way, you guys are insane." He was like, "You're joking." I was like, "No, I don't think he would have done that for us if he knew what we were actually gonna do." Whoopsie. It's kind of like when you forge your parents' signature on something so you can go on that field trip and they find out.
I mean, that never happened, no.
No. Why did you go to Busch Gardens? Oh, it's fun. Shout out to Busch Gardens.
Shout out to Great Aussie Bush Camp.
Is that an Australian?
That's an Australian
theme
camp.
park?
Yeah. No, it's a more of a camp that you go away to for a couple of days normally.
Okay, that sounds like a place where parents send their kids when they're annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable. All right. Do we? Okay, we didn't do that bad. Hey, 2 stars.
Yeah, it's
All
all
right.
right. It's all right.
Unremarkable. Well, but you know who is remarkable? You, Mitch. And
No,
the
you.
teamwork. Our teamwork was remarkable.
Yeah, except for Misty and Chris.
Yeah,
like, killing us all the time.
that was remarkable team killing.
Yeah.
It was remarkable something.
Yeah.
Priority alert. The Acumen system.
Let's see what else is going in the chat here. Here's a good one from Stephen G. How much bigger can the sickle get?
Don't tempt us. We'll keep pushing that thing.
Look,
I think it could be bigger.
it will be so big that your game won't even launch anymore.
Yeah.
Don't tempt us.
Yeah. It should be so big it should be visible from the outside of the Super Destroyer.
That is true.
We're just
It
gonna-
should be the Super Destroyer.
Yeah. You're giving us great ideas.
Fun fact, we do these streams to farm ideas.
Yeah. Write that down.
Yeah, right there.
All right. Well, should we jump over to a Q&A then?
Yeah.
All right. Q&A.
Okay.
All
Let's
right.
go.
So the chat is moving pretty fast. We have someone who has been repeating their question. I'm sorry I did not note down your name, but they want to know if there will be any underground missions in the future. Now, of course, we can't really talk about future plans in a concrete way, but Chris, you're a level designer. How do you feel about going underground? Do you like
Look,
that idea?
you have a shovel.
That's true.
So if you keep digging, theoretically, you're going to end
Make
up
your own
underground.
missions.
Exactly. that's basically like a modding kit that you have now. Is you can just dig down.
Yeah.
Can you dig up?
Well,
No.
I don't think he can get low enough to go back
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean?
It's like how I dislike elevator because they go down.
Is that Penny?
Yeah.
It's okay, Pam.
Penny's whining a bit. Hello,
Penny
Penny.
the dog has had enough
Penny's
of
a
this live
great
stream.
dog, though.
Yeah. She's been so patient with us for the last almost 2 hours.
Oh, 2 hours for that dog? Why don't we have a dog cam?
We should.
We should have a dog cam.
Yeah.
We'll make that a goal.
Yeah. Stretch goals. If you want a dog cam, drop it in the chat.
Orbital gas barrage when? Ooh, my friend, I would give anything. I will do anything.
I mean, that'd be fun.
It's a different team, but
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like we don't.
I can pass it along if you want.
Boy,
You're like,
all
I
the
know
rest
a
of the
guy.
studio hates
But
to
believe
see
it or
the
not,
community
no,
team coming after one of these because we're like, hey, got an idea for you. Some guy in chat said this. Let's see what else we've got here. Cross-platform progression. That's come up in the past. I'm not really sure where we are with any plans for anything like that. I'm sorry.
Sounds like something for a programmer.
Yeah.
Some
Where are
booleans,
those guys?
some integers.
When are we gonna get them on stream?
Yeah, we should. We have a lot of cool programmers.
we do.
We do.
Let us know in the chat if you want some programmers on
Get
the
some
stream,
programmers.
kids.
We can do a C++ stream.
Yeah.
Just talking
Just
about
type some shit on the screen.
floats and strings is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Let's see. More capes. People have let us know that they want more capes for special events. I've seen that a few times in the chat. We have taken note that you want more special capes for sure.
If you could design a cape, would it just be the
Yeah.
Florida flag? Is
I
that what you think you'd go
I
for?
would maybe take the logo from the University of Florida,
Okay.
the Gators sports team.
Yeah.
Really just to piss off the Florida State Tallahassee Seminoles team because for anyone from Florida, I'm from Gator country, so deal with it.
All right. Stream's about to turn hostile.
No,
Throw on from the-
I honestly think that there are more Gator fans in Florida than there are Seminoles fans. Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Throwing that out there. Panhandle, come on, man.
Gators do sound cool. I will give you that.
Yeah, the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we planning to add any new planet biomes or planet variety in the future?
I'd say so.
I mean, there are planets. There's probably going to be new planets.
No.
I don't know. The planets are done by our internal worlds team.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, yeah, we could be.
Well, I mean, a bunch of them are, blowing up at the moment. We just
That's true. Yeah, we might as well add some more
Yeah.
planets. I don't really know. I mean, if we can take away planets, presumably we can give you planets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it going to be that sort of thing where it's like, Pluto is a planet, isn't a planet? We just have to move them up as we destroy planets.
Mitch, that's Pluto is a planet. I'm not gonna. That. I don't care who says what. Oh yeah.
It's the same team.
Yeah. All right. Same team. Preaching to the choir. No, I would definitely love to see some new biomes. As with everything, it's always a priority list of what do we want to do. What does the community want to see, and it's just kind of like seeing what's best at the right moment. So. I'm sure that stuff has been talked about. Nothing that I know of concretely, but I know that the sentiment is shared in the studio.
Definitely. Sir Egg or Senior Egg, can I have a shower in the Super Destroyer? Now, this sounds like such a strange question, but it's actually fair.
No,
you
that's
show
a good
up
question.
covered in blood and guts and gore, and you just want to see your pretty armor again.
Yeah.
We got a water fight though. Do we have time for showers? That's the.
It's true.
Maybe the Hell Pod has a built-in shower and just sprays you down.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
Hellpod's internal hose.
Yeah, I like that idea. But that'd be a lot of fun. You walk out of a shower, your cape is all wet, you're just dripping all over the ship, and you get
the
yelled at.
footprints.
Yeah, that'd be great. You just come back to someone having to mop it up.
Just like an angry janitor.
Exactly.
Every time.
Now, I have a question for you, Chris.
Oh.
You have had a lot of amazing moments with things that you have designed in Helldivers 2, but what has been the most exciting thing for you after the game has been released?
After the game has been released, let's see. There's been a lot going on. How long ago did the game come out? 7 years ago? 10 years? No, 1 year ago.
It feels like it. I didn't have as many gray hairs. I had life in my eyes.
No, I think one of the most fun things was pretty recently when we released the bugs in colonies. That was something that towards the end of 2024, I got tasked with from Direction, and that was kind of a cool moment where it felt kind of like a secret operative thing. Hey, do you know what we should do? We should put bugs in these colonies. I'm like, yeah. You want to do it? I'm like, yeah. So that was something that was a lot of fun because it just completely changed what we knew about fighting bugs, and getting to take a pristine Super Earth town and basically just bugifying it and making it gross and corrupted and infested and infected and other gross words was just a lot of fun and very, very cool. Other notable moments, I was on the team working on CR10 back for Arc 2. So with that difficulty, that was it was a lot of fun testing it out because it was there were a lot of moments where we would just start and immediately die and be like, was that too hard? Then others would be like, no. Okay. Yeah, that required a lot of jumping around to different disciplines. So it's probably a mix of doing that and doing the bugs in colonies, which people seem to really like. So I'm glad that you all like it.
Well, that was one thing from Helldivers 1 that I was hanging for with Helldivers 2 was, fighting in the city streets almost. So yeah, as soon as the colonies came out, I was all over that.
Yeah, it feels so different. And I think that's what really hypes me up about working on this game. I've been here just over 4 years now. And now that the game is out and we have all these different paths that we can take and all these different things that we can do, it's almost like working on a new game every day. And I come from a modding background, so it in a way it like meets that area too, where I kind of also feel like I'm modding this game that I already worked on to add this stuff. So it's a real hoot.
Awesome. Some of these I'm seeing a lot of repeat questions. Let's see if we can find some different ones.
Any Gloob related?
I've not. Do we have any Gloob related questions?
Any
chat? Drop
Gloob
it on us.
questions?
Well, I feel like you've definitely started something here.
Yeah.
New meme.
Is the Gloob and Gloom related? It's not.
Okay.
It's not. I don't want to start anything.
Like
I don't want to go back to my desk and then get yelled at. Like, what are you doing?
What's the potential to have missions where it's completely dark? You mean, like,
Completely dark. I mean, what does that mean? Because like the moon gives off light.
You mean like you don't want to see anything?
Like you don't want to like. I mean, you could technically just close your eyes and play the game if you want.
It's kind of like the Simpsons thing I'm imagining, where it's like, I'm going to be going like this, and if you get in the way, it's your own fault.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I would love to see a challenge run where people try to, like, basically complete an entire operation Daredevil style.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Kind of like the Guitar Hero thing, right? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're still asking for gloob weapons, but they're also asking, is the gloob edible?
I mean, if E710 is edible, then I think that gloob is probably also edible.
I think what we've established is that we will try to eat whatever.
I mean, look, if we want to have another eating competition.
That's true. We do have those.
It's true. We should do like a Helldivers themed eating competition.
Okay. Maybe
Like-
we do like a Helldivers cookbook first, and then we do the.
Oh, we should.
competition
I
from that.
want chicken nuggets shaped like Terminids.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Cooking stream followed by mukbang stream.
Oh my! That I will join for the first part. I will not join for that last part. But no,
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah, actually, Fluffy has talked about doing some like cooking nights at his place because he's fond of the cooking and he makes his own beer. So we should definitely do that.
Yeah. Would it be like E710 beers and then Terminator
E710
nuggets?
beers, yeah, and gloob on the illuminate cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
This is. Katie, write this down.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Taking notes. Let's see here. People asking again about Killzone. We don't know. We don't have any info on that we can share. Sorry. Are you planning on to bring Proving Grounds back to Helldivers 2? I don't know. We don't know that.
Maybe one
New
day.
mission types. Are we entertaining new mission types?
Oh, every day.
Yeah.
Except the weekends, not on.
Yeah.
But probably like a little bit on weekends. An idea might occur to you.
Shower thoughts.
Yeah.
No, that is something that we always look at is what we're able to do with new missions and mission types. I definitely want to provide more, and I know that the others on the teams want to provide more, and maybe we're working on more. Or maybe we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably working on something.
Yeah.
I am working on
Hopefully.
something.
Yeah. This is an awkward way for it to come out.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't actually done anything in 6 months. No.
I do see you walking around a lot. Like,
Yeah, you got to get your steps in, Mitch. Come on,
No.
you got to get your steps in. Part of being a designer is thinking. So I just walk around and I think. There you go, and you get your steps in. But yeah, we're definitely looking at how we can expand some stuff, have some more interesting variety. There is stuff that we're thinking about and stuff that I don't know. Maybe you'll see.
Yeah.
You never know. Well, I know. I'm not telling. because they're not allowed to.
So this is one that I just want to throw out there.
This is Katie's question.
Super Destroyer paintings. Should we put art on the Super Destroyer?
Well, duh.
I feel like that's a good idea, but like, what kind of art would go on the Super Destroyer, you think?
Surely the kids painting, right?
Yeah, the kids
Yeah,
painting.
they want that.
We should do some type of like contest, like every month or something. Like it gets a community thing up there.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun.
All of your fan art is just so incredible. Like, what was the painting that somebody did of like the two Helldivers touching like in the Adam and the Hand of God? Like,
yeah,
that was incredible.
So good. That one was
Whoever
so
that
good.
was, shout out to you. Amazing. I think that was all of our desktop wallpaper for like a month.
Well, not mine, but
Well, ours on the community team.
yeah.
We change our desktop wallpaper a lot.
Yeah.
I only change mine when we have the new updates come out, like,
I like
the
the
omens
key
of,
art.
of,
The key
of
art.
Tyranny. Yeah.
Which is your favorite key art?
I can't actually give a wrong answer because I'm good buddies with the concept artist that makes those. So no, I really like the colors of Omens of Tyranny.
Same.
That one's very fun, but also yeah, Escalation of Freedom I like too, because I'm just a big fan of the bots. Both.
Yeah.
Both
is good.
Yeah.
Both is good. Also the OG key art, of course.
Yeah.
The OG key art gets me so hyped up because I think back to like the launch of the game, how exciting it was, and I love the colors of that art. I think the OG is still my favorite.
Seeing it on the PS5 box for the first time was mind-blowing.
Crazy.
Like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
Nice.
I did this.
Yeah, seeing it when I boot up my PS5 and I see Helldivers there, I'm like, oh, it's real. Cool.
All right, I think we got time for one more, maybe.
One, it better be a good one.
Yeah, make
Ooh.
it count, chat.
Come on, chat. I believe in you. You're all glued up now.
Yeah.
You can do it.
I hate how much this is going to come through our sentiment reports.
I think I'm going to walk out of this room and into an HR meeting immediately.
Anytime we get pinged about Gloob,
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, tag Chris in this.
Shaggy defense. What does it mean?
This is a fascinating question.
All right.
I've got to ask this. What do you think the three factions think of each other if Super Earth were not involved?
Oh, I like that one. Oh, that's a good one. If Super Earth was not involved.
Answer it and then get roasted for treason.
Yeah, I mean, I like that question.
I feel like the bots and the squids would have a pretty intense hatred of each other because I feel like they would get in each other's way a lot.
Yeah, because the bots are always messing up planets. Like they're always building factories, and so it's always pretty dirty when you're around them. And the Illuminate just seem to be very.
Why can't they would probably look at the bots
Yeah.
and say, why can't you have more
What are you
autocratic
doing?
intentions?
Yeah, and I feel like the Illuminates are more likely to set up like a national park. You know?
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like they might try to create a reserve for the bugs. Because if the bots found out that they can get like E710 from the bugs, they might be onto that.
Yeah.
And the Illuminate might be like, hang on. We need to make some conservations, you know, some national parks.
This is starting to sound like when your dog runs away and they go to a farm.
Yeah, exactly.
Just playing happily.
They go to a farm. Yeah. So yeah, probably something like that. I mean, the Illuminate could wield the bugs to fight the bots.
Yeah.
Now that'd be cool.
But the bots also, because they blend up humans as like
Yeah.
a fuel, maybe they would start doing that to the bugs.
Maybe.
Maybe we have bug farms.
And the bugs just want to be free.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they just want to exist.
Like that fish from TikTok recently, and the one that went up to the surface.
There was a fish.
One of those. What are they called? Anglerfish.
Oh, those things are
Yeah.
weird, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to. The ocean's freaky.
It is. It is.
I don't like the ocean that much.
Is
that how we end it? I don't like the ocean. I'm from Florida. I should like the ocean. I mean, it's nice to look at from land.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to your oceanic facts on a Arrowhead stream. Thank you.
Well, Australia's girt by sea, so we have to
That's
like
true.
it.
Yeah. I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
The Great Barrier Reef. I'm a big fan. Did you know that the direct translation of the Great Barrier Reef in Finnish is Big Barrier Reef? Because they don't have a word that necessarily means great. It just always directly translates to big. So it's Big Britain.
Okay.
That's a fun fact for everyone in the chat getting gloobed with language facts. I'm digging a hole. Are we ending?
Yeah, that's it. I think we're filibustering.
Oh no, killing time.
All right. Well, thanks everybody, and thanks, Chris.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you, Chris, for joining us. You did an excellent job avoiding all of those mines and explosions.
Yes.
Stay glued, chat. Stay glued.
Yeah, thank you for gloobing the chat.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Catch y'all later.
stream.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.